Hey you guys, today we are going to try a Temu eyeshadow palette. She's super affordable. She looking like this. I revealed her in a haul video. It is supposed to be an affordable dupe for the Natasha Denona GLAM palette. When we're looking at sizes, yes, it's fairly small, but it's really about the quality of the actual eyeshadow formula. This palette goes for $69. I know. And then this one over here, just $6.98 on Temu. So you know we're gonna do expensive versus affordable on each eye. We're gonna see how that goes. I want to show you the shades close up. A lot of the shades are very similar. I'm pretty sure we can come up with something. And I know a lot of people are interested in the GLAM palette but don't want to fork up the 70 bucks. Girl, I get it. My husband gifted me this palette. I loved the color story. The formula is stunning. Hello, it's Natasha Denona. However, at the same time, you want affordable, but you're like, I don't know that I want to buy like that cheap of a palette and put it on my eyeballs, which is perfectly fine. I have another dupe for you guys. It's also affordable. It's a great brand. I've featured here several times. I've been working with them for many years, and at that, they also created their own dupe of the Natasha Denona GLAM palette. This is the Alter Ego Shadow Kiss palette. I've done a video on this one being a dupe for the GLAM palette. I did the same thing. It was versus, you know, one eye versus the other. The Shadow Kiss palette is just $17 over at shopalterego.com. So I wanted to give you guys different options. I haven't tried the Temu one yet. Of course, we're gonna do that now. But if you wanted a dupe, you feel like you could trust a little more, then I would say the Shop Alter Ego one would be like a beautiful dupe. I'm gonna prep my lid with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in Fair. All right, let's begin. I'm gonna apply the Natasha Denona over on this eyeball over here. I'm gonna go in with the crease shade. I love how they set it up too, by the way, because it tells you like exactly where to apply it, create like a really fun look. So I'm gonna go into the crease shade. And yes, I am gonna be using different brushes for each eye. I'm gonna tap out and I am going to apply the crease shade just above the crease. It doesn't have to be neat, Mija, don't worry about it. Dookie, 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 dookie. And if you want to see more Temu makeup, I am putting an assortment together so that I can film a full face of just Temu beauty products. We'll see what happens there, but that is what I am working on right now as we speak. I'm placing orders. I am doing haul videos in collaboration with them, and I'm gathering some good, very interesting items. I'm gonna set that brush to the side, the GLAM palette side. With a different brush, I'm gonna dip into this one over here, which seems like the closest shade to that crease shade. Has a little bit of like a gray hue to it. And let's begin. If I do dip back into pans, I will let you know so that we're all on the same page here. So far, so good. I didn't dip back into the pan for either of the eyeshadows. I'm gonna grab a fluffy angled brush. I'm going to dip it into, I want like a pinky hue. We have inner corner or we have center of the eyelid. I can use either of them. I think we're gonna do center of the eyelid because it would be really pretty, but we're gonna apply this all over the lid. I'm gonna go ahead and tap this, starting at the inner portion of the eye because I wanna open up the eyeball. And I'm gonna bring it about halfway. By the way, it's so confusing. I literally had to like switch the product over because this eye is the GLAM palette and then this eye is the Temu palette. For some reason, I had it backwards over on my vanity and I was like, no. Last thing I need to do is to really mess this up. It gets confusing for sure. Here we have the GLAM palette. It's like pinky shimmer. All I did was tap in and I did not go back into the pan. This is like the initial amount that I lifted like with the powdered, like with my brush. So I got another angled brush. And I'm going to go into the pinky shimmer one that they have here, which is the very first one. Actually, when I'm really looking at it, you guys, this like color story setup, it's like blatantly copying the GLAM palette. Like it's in the same spot. Let's tap and apply and see if we can get the same coverage with just like the one dip into the pan. Off the bat, the one dip into the pan, I can tell that the GLAM palette has way more shimmer to it. You see when I'm like turning my face back and forth, there's more luminosity here versus here. I'm gonna go into the dupe palette one more time, pick up a little more and see if it's buildable, see if I can bring it up to the same effect that I'm getting on this eye. No, I cannot. The GLAM palette has a little more of like a white shift to it. And this one does not. This one's more just straight up pink. It's still pretty. I think most people won't notice that. I'm putting it out there though, because you know, we're all about transparency. I don't have to push almost $7 palette. Like, you don't want it, you don't want it. But I want to be honest with you guys. So now I'm gonna grab this one. And a flat eyeshadow brush. I will dip into Lash Line. The lash line shade would be the one that you would apply directly close to your lash line. You can smoke out and create that lifted cat eye look that I've taught you guys how to do. I got fallout. I forgot to tap. Beautiful shade for that. So I'm gonna just like tap, 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 tap here like this. And with a small blending brush, I am gonna go in circular motions. I don't wanna create a smoky eye with this, but I wanna add a little something out here. Add some personality to the look. So with this really, what is this? Who are you? Who is the brand? Doe Color Brush. I am gonna go in little circular motions and kind of bring it up and focus it out here in this outer V area. Grabbing another eyeshadow brush, I am gonna dip into the matte brown they have here. Tap, wait, tap out. Oh my goodness, I almost didn't tap out. We're gonna tap the brown here. Immediately I can tell that the Glam palette one is much darker. So I'm gonna go back into the pan. I just had to dip in a second time. I'm gonna grab BK Beauty 207 and I'm gonna do the very same thing and kind of go in circular motions. Now, because this one is not as pigmented, I am applying less pressure on the brush when blending. No additional product. I'm just gonna go back in with the brush and whatever's left on there and tap, tap, tap and blend around the crease area. Grabbing the brush that I used with that like taupey shade, I am going to blend this outer edge. And then let me identify the other one. Oh my goodness. No additional product. I'm gonna blend out that outer edge here as well. I grabbed a very, very fine brush. I'm gonna dip into that deep shade again, but I'm only gonna dip the tip into it. We're dipping out. And then I'm gonna concentrate that shade out here. I wanna make it nice and dark, kind of like deepen the lash line a little bit. And then I grabbed this brush. It is bigger than the other one, but it picks up a little more. And that's because I noticed that, again, this shade is not as pigmented. So I need something that's gonna pick up a little more, a lot faster, so I don't have to keep dipping back into the pan. With no additional product, whatever's left, I will drag that down here. Okay, it did have enough product to where I could do a little something. That works. Okay, cool. And then with this brush on this side, no additional product also. I'm gonna just drag. This better look the same because I'm going out later on today and the last thing I need is for it not to match. I notice a difference. I don't think everyone will. You really have to be into makeup to notice the difference. This one's definitely way more frosty. I'm gonna go and apply mascara on the eyes so that we can see what this is gonna ultimately look like. I got questions on the HD Volumizing Mascara by Ofra Cosmetics. I love her. I feature her in videos often. I just don't link it. And I know it would make life so much easier for me and everybody else if I were to link it. Just know I always have a discount code for Ofra in the description box down below. And the blush, Ofra, it's their new cream blush in Heart Eyes. And don't sleep on their concealer formula. It is stunning. I have a full review on all 14 of their shades if you want to go check it out. It is live on my channel. Listen, it's the only concealer I've been using like nonstop. It's so freaking good. All right, you guys, and here we have it. Make sure you've commented below what you're thinking, what your vibe is. But I've definitely got some thoughts. So let's get into them. In comparison, like on a whim, it looks the same in my opinion, but when you really sit there, stare at it, scrutinize. The Glam palette eye is just chef's kiss. It is airbrushed. It's blended so beautifully and it was very effortless to blend out. I only had to dip into each of the shades once in order to get the effect that I wanted. And as you guys can see, this whole crease, it's just flawless, right? And then the pink shade, you can still tell that it's pink, but at the same time, it has that champagne frosty effect on the inner corner. It's just beautiful. It's flawless. Then we have the Temu eyeshadow palette dupe side. It still looks really nice, but if we're gonna compare it, this one is not as vibrant and flawless as the Glam palette one. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to notice. See here, it's properly blended 100%. I blended and blended and blended on this side, and it stops right here. I'm not mad at it. It's still a very beautiful look. Could I have actually blended it out? Yeah, it would have taken me a little longer. It would have been fine. But for the purpose of what we're trying to do, I wanted to show you guys what the differences between the palettes are. The formula is definitely different because this one didn't blend out as seamlessly and easily as the Glam palette. The pink shade, we've already discussed that. It doesn't have that intense frosted shade like the Glam palette has. So you can still see it's a frosty pink, it's just not as frosty. And then the matte espresso shade is not as pigmented or deep as the one from the Glam palette. Otherwise, like honestly, if I were to just use this one palette, create this look on both eyes, I don't think anyone would ever know. And if anything, people would compliment the fact that, wow, your eye look is really pretty. What did you use? No one would ever know I actually used a dupe and that it was like less than $7. And I wanted to show you guys the palettes again. If you really look at the shades, like the color story is the same, which is really funny. In the event that you're trying to follow a makeup tutorial and you're like, okay, she used this shade from the Glam palette, you're gonna find it in this dupe palette instantly, solely because the shades are literally in the very same order. I think this is a really good dupe and the price point is wonderful considering that I've tried indie brands, not from Temu. I've actually reviewed them here on the channel and their formulas are either chalky, powdery, they kind of suck, they blend away, they just don't do it. And they want more than just $7. But I want to hear what you guys think. Have you had your eyes on this palette and now you want to snag this one and give it a try? Or did you buy this palette and now you're like, man, that was $70, maybe I should have just gone with a dupe? Let me know down below. I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Make sure that you are subscribed to hit that like button and the notification bell for me, please. Get excited, I have a way more fun videos coming your way. I hope you've enjoyed this dupe video and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.